morning. Great. Where's my phone? Great morning. I don't know where my phone is. Good morning, you guys. Oh, there it is. Okay. Juicy conversation, juicy thoughts. I wanted to, you guys, I had these hats made, but I don't like them. I'm testing them out. I don't like this style. I'll have to go get some more. Yep, not my fave. Anyway, so much to talk about. Today is Juneteenth. I am in Texas right now. A lot of people overlook this, the holiday, the meaning of Juneteenth. I think stuff just dies that really matters because you got to know your history, not from a perspective of, because some people are all into history and it's just depressing because they're just always carrying it in the wrong energy. But I think it's so powerful to understand, if you're in America, if you're an American, understanding American history, right? A lot of my friends that are not from America, they're always like, wait, I don't get it. But I'm Black, okay? So I'm going to let you get it. I'm going to teach it to you, okay? But we're going to learn, okay? So Juneteenth is a powerful day, especially in Texas. There's so many details, but I like to give y'all the fun version of the story so that you can just understand. But before we get to the history, I wanted to talk, it's just been in my spirit, the scripture of taking your thoughts captive. And it's a super amazing concept. And it's a practice that we all have to do, right? Taking your thoughts captive, getting control over what you're thinking about yourself, about your life, about other people, because that matters as well. Have you ever just paid attention to your thoughts and maybe you see someone, you're like, oh, she's skinny. Oh, she's fat. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that type of thinker. So I really like the concept. My dad is always saying, take your thoughts captive. A moment in my life where it really stuck out, where I wasn't thinking to apply this, was I had eaten something and gotten sick, right? And I have a really funny stomach. I can't eat certain things that just doesn't agree with my body. Like it just doesn't, right? So I'd eaten something and I was like sick for like 2 days, right? And my dad, when I came back over my dad's house, he was like, what's up? Like, you got to take these thoughts captive that tell you that you should eat this because you know the consequences. You're not gaining control. He was like, resist temptation and it will go away from you. He started just hitting me with these scriptures. And I was like, man, I never thought about when we were growing up in church, it was like, resist the devil and the devil. And so you just have this idea of the devil being this thing that it's just this whole dumb concept, keeps you very dumb-minded, I think. When you really look at how you should be applying the word, it's in every moment of your life. God is with you 24/7. God is the ultimate being, like, right? Source, energy. And so when you look at your thoughts and the fact that your thoughts become things and you're always manifesting, and whatever energy you give your thoughts, that's what's going to manifest in your life. So I posted this morning, if you guys saw, like, whatever you're thinking that you don't have, you just naturally are going to keep seeing that. If you wake up and I don't have this, I don't have that, you're naturally going to keep that energy is what's bringing it back to you all the time. So when you're taking your thoughts captive, I literally have this image of just grabbing that thought and throwing it out and replacing it with the more empowering thought, getting into the energy of the more empowering thought, and so it's just a practice. And the cynical person, or the person that's negative Nancy, and the person that just have tried this and they feel like it didn't work for them, they're going to say, well, I'm human. And while we can use the human excuse, because yes, we're going to have emotions, if you don't begin to change what you're thinking, your life is not going to change. Why every successful person is always teaching the same thing. It's change your thinking, change your life. And so the scripture just, was on my heart, taking every thought captive, and a way that my daddy really made me understand 2 scriptures about resisting temptation. Hey, thank you, Kia. The way that my dad really made me, I was like, man, you can use this in everything. If you say you're going to go on, you're changing the way you're eating, and you have a desire to eat something that doesn't serve your new goal, You have to take that thought captive, and you have to rearrange what food is to you. Food is fuel. You know, you think about where you're going in your life and what you're going to be able to do because your body can support you, because you look good and you feel good. What is that confidence and that radiance going to be like in your life, right? You're taking the thoughts captive and you're bringing them into submission to your highest being, your highest calling, your highest version of yourself. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Let me see in the comments. And so, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Let me know where you're listening from, by the way. I'd love to see where you are around the world. So yeah, it's just an amazing concept that if you really keep practicing, I believe that it will just change our lives, like massively, because we live a life of constantly just upgrading the way you're thinking, upgrading Milwaukee in the house, upgrading at every chance that we get. You know, you can't take a thought captive until you notice the bad thoughts. So don't beat yourself up about negative thoughts, because they're going to come. You're human. That is being human. But the practice, that's why I love fitness, because it's a challenge. It's a complete challenge that you have to mentally, you can't get through, like the way my trainer is training me, I can't get through the training if I'm thinking about my human perspective. I have to think bigger than me. I have to think stronger than me. I have to channel greatness that I've seen. You know, you have to take the thoughts captive that say, I can't do this. This hurts. I should just quit. This is stupid. I could just go to my car and go home, right? You could do that. But how does that really feel? You feel crappy because you gave up on yourself. You didn't push yourself and be the best version that you can be. To become the best version of Lakeisha, I have to constantly be challenging the status quo. I have to constantly be challenging, you know, basic thoughts that don't serve where I know I can go. And you might say, well, how do I know where I can go? Facebook just shut down. I'm so over it. Oh, I'm so over it. This internet stuff, like, it drives me nuts. Hold on, you guys. Okay, men in my inbox. Ew, please stop. I have no interest. That is just the wackest way to holler. Stop. It's so disgusting. Leave me alone. I'm not gonna answer your how you doing and what you thinking and none of that. It's just whack. Whack. I'm going to block you. You instantly get blocked, even if you meant well. It's just block. Block, block, block. Okay, you guys, hold on. I'm trying to get Facebook back on. Let's see if it works. Okay, Facebook shut down. Whatever. You guys, I lost you on Facebook. Yeah, it shut down. I don't know what's happening. So for some reason, it's been doing that for like forever. So here's the deal. When you look at taking every thought captive, you think about your morning, you think about your day. What was the most dominant thought yesterday? What were you thinking about yesterday? And what was your day like? Take some time and really think about the experience of yesterday and think about your thoughts. Were you in the energy of, I wish I had, I don't have? Because if so, then your day kind of resonates and you see things that match that lifestyle of I don't have. Did you feel joyful? If so, you see things that bring you joy. Like I see things that bring me joy. I see things that, you know, made me laugh like crazy, right? Songs and all that. Like you can just think about what were your most dominant thoughts. And it's a practice because you're training yourself to have faith and walk by your mind's eye versus your actual vision like that you see here, right? And that's the thing. If you know you want to go somewhere bigger than where you are right now, you can't walk by, you can't talk and align. I'm so ashy, y'all. You can't align with what you see. Like that's gonna screw you up because you're gonna just be like, your mind is gonna be like, yeah, all that positive stuff, and you still can't do X, Y, Z, and you still don't have the love of your life, and you still don't like whatever we're beating ourselves up with. And so the scripture simply tells us to take every thought captive, and that's in 2 Corinthians. Let me go to it. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. We can take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. And when I read that, I think about, what is Christ? What does Christ represent? Christ represents faith. Christ represents love. Christ represents, miracles. If you think about, Christ represents God, right? God manifested. So God is all knowing, everything, omnipresent. And so if God is everything and it's all the goodness, then you have to take that thought and turn it into the goodness, the positive, the love, the whatever. It's the opposite of the negative thing that you're thinking, right? If it's negative, or if it just doesn't serve you, like, I don't know, I think it's either negative or positive. But you want to constantly be upgrading the way that you think. And I think it's interesting when you look at the concept of today's Juneteenth. Juneteenth is about, so nutshell, I'm trying to give you the short version. There's so many details, but I'm in Texas. Like, Texas is, we didn't know, I say we as if I was alive, but Black people didn't know they was free. They was freed. A law had went out that they were free, but it didn't get to Texas. For many people have many reasons on how it got to Texas so late, but I forgot how late it was. Let me see. Let's see how late it was. So for example, think about it this way. You a slave, you're free, you wouldn't know because they don't even let you read and do, they don't even, people, the whole thing of slavery was that you don't keep the information away from the people. That's why I think it's crazy if you Black and you American and you're not learning 24/7 because somebody couldn't learn the way you can learn right now. So you owe it to those people who died and who were whipped and beaten and held down, you know what I'm saying, who couldn't do, to be smart as all out, all get out, period. Like, that's what you should be. You should always be smart and stop giving the excuse of not being tech savvy or not having education. They didn't have those schools back then, and you still had slaves that decided to rise. So it's just never an excuse of what you think. It's only just get more information and then apply what you know, right? But anyway, here's the thing. Slaves were free. I think it was like a year, 2 years. It was something crazy. Okay, so let me look it up. So the order, Abraham Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation, which basically was saying that, the slaves were free. That was January 1st, 1863, okay? And it freed more than 3.5 million slaves in America, Black people, okay? But let's see about Juneteenth. Where is the Juneteenth dates? Because there's a certain Juneteenth. Let's look it up, y'all. Juneteenth. Oh, see? Juneteenth 1865 is when Texas found out. Now that's nuts. So in January 1863, it was actually announced, but Texas, it wasn't enforced. The general came down to Texas and was like, y'all gotta let these people go, right? It's insane. 1863 was when Abraham said it. 1865 is when it actually was enforced in Texas. I'm looking at Wikipedia. So here's the thing. My point is this. First of all, there's a lot of points to this, and I'm just trying to give y'all a little backbone. Go look it up. Google Juneteenth, the Civil War, people trying to fight to keep Black people slaves, which is absolutely just the most ridiculous idea. Like, who thinks of these ideas? But if you look at the industry of slavery, shoot, it was a whole industry, and the slaves were necessary for all of the tobacco and the cotton. There was just so many things happening. So they were just using a group of people. Sick. So we celebrate today. We celebrate, even though it was late, better late than never. And I'm convicted always as a Black woman, always convicted to really look at the power of our mind, like of my mind, and understanding my history, and the power of understanding the power of your thoughts. Like, it is literally directing and manifesting everything in your life. It's insane, right? And so when you think about slavery, there are so many people that are free today, but they are mentally enslaved because of lack of information, because of your environment hasn't changed. Think about the slaves that were free, but they didn't know they were free because the information was withheld from them. And so even when there's stories that said that even when slaves were free, they didn't even go anywhere because they didn't know where else to go. And so I want to inspire you guys today that your mind, you need to be a dreamer. You need to be a action taker. You want to be inspired by these stories, to think bigger and be proud of who you are, whatever your history is, because today is the best time to be alive, no matter what we see. And also, in order to keep upgrading, we have to take these thoughts captive. We have to resist the temptation of blaming others, or the temptation of comparison, the temptation of guilt, feeling guilty. So, because when you're feeling these energies, you're away from the power that is within you, which is God. It's infinite. And God is not, it ain't nothing, it's not like an abracadabra magic. You are a co-creator. Like, your job is to keep aligning to God so that the spirit flows through you. The spirit of your gifts flow through you. And then you just keep creating. You're here to create. You have a purpose. And so, like, taking your thoughts captive and aligning them with God thoughts. What are God thoughts? That's all you got to really think about. What is God's thoughts? What is his thinking like? Study the word and get like that. Your dreams are small compared to God's thoughts. So our job is to always dream bigger. Live in the energy of what if? What if I did this? What if? What if? What if? And then start to write down these ideas that come to you, and then take action. We've been talking about vision in the CEO Stylist conversations on the live stream, and everybody's like, can I vision? I don't know what to vision. I never thought about visioning. And I'm just here to tell you that you won't move and get anywhere new if you keep thinking the same way. You have to always be thinking and living in the energy with playful questions of what if I did this, and what if I did that? How fun would it be if I just did this? Like, make it fun, right? And live in God energy. Live in God energy. Live in God energy. And so I want to tell you guys, that was just on my heart this morning. This is completely I'm always ranting, but it was just a matter of, taking the thoughts captive. Like, what were you thinking about yesterday? Look at yesterday and what you manifested. You know what I mean? And it's a daily practice. It's a minute by minute practice, because you're human. I get irritated. Y'all know I get irritated. I'm always ranting about something, but I have to stop myself and say, you know what? Let me reset. Like Tony Robbins says, put yourself into a new state and then move from that energy. And please Google Tony Robbins and look at the whole idea of getting into state. It's just changing your physiology, changing all of your energies, and then acting from that place. Because when you're in a bad energy, or when you're feeling down, or you're feeling hurt, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe your money funny, maybe, somebody pissed you off, or maybe somebody did you dirty, or maybe things are just not the way you want it to be, and you're just in a blah energy. Instead of giving into this thing of, depression is normal, and everyone, all these commercials now of depression. And I think part of me, I don't know, it ain't like I've never been depressed, but I think it's like people want to have that. It's like, let's make that the new don't let TV and commercials and things influence you and tell you you depressed, because I believe the power of God, and the power of God is like this. If you decide that you're no longer going to be depressed, then that's what's going to happen. And you have control over your thoughts, and you can change your life, period. You are the creator, not some whatever you're giving energy to. Depression is when you're thinking about, you're choosing to sit in what you don't have, who you're not, what hurt you. You're choosing to, I am an adopted person who's been through so much trauma with abuse. I am not choosing to sit and think about it and go through it. If I sit and channel that, then hell yeah, I'm depressed. Duh. Do things happen and they just trigger you because that's how your brain works, and it can make you go into like a flashback moment? Yeah. But because I know that, even when that happens, I snap out of it because I am in control. So I am not going to sit down. I'm not going to lay down, period. On my worst day, I'm not laying down. So that's an energy. That's a thought. That's a mindset, you guys. You have to take your thoughts captive and act like your creator. Your creator is bomb, like all knowing. There's nothing it's nothing impossible. And that's what's scary, because our mind wants to protect us and keep us in what we know, what we're familiar with. I'm familiar with abuse, so I'm just going to stay there because that's comfortable. That was me at one point in time. I'm familiar with being broke, so I'm going to stay there because that's what's comfortable. I'm familiar with, I be arguing with my dad all the time about the heat in the air. We grew up, I don't know about you guys, when I grew up, my mom had such a poverty mentality. She did not want to use the dryer. We had a dryer, and my mama would make us hang out clothes because she said it was going to run the light bill up. We had air conditioning. My mom was like, don't turn the air on until, certain time. So we in Texas. It's hot. Okay. It's 100 degrees. I'm mad thinking about it. I'm having flashbacks. We literally just got used to being hot. I'm talking dripping sweat, watching TV, just dripping sweat. We lived like that for years. Like that became the new norm. It was weird. It's like everything went backwards. When I was growing up, I don't remember it being hot like that. All of a sudden, the air conditioner broke, and instead of saving to get it fixed, it was like the air conditioner broke, so we just gonna be without no air. And we were just hot. My friends would come over and be like, what the? It was just hot. Okay? And we got used to the discomfort to where when people would come over complaining, we mad at them. We were mad at them because they mad because they hot. We like, man, ain't that hot. It was hot. And it's funny because my dad is so used to, because we just pretty much live like that. It became the new norm. So yesterday I was telling my dad, I said, Dad, because he's just been trained for years to keep the air off until it gets unbearable. That's crazy. And these are habits, you guys. I don't care how much you go to church. I don't care how much you speak in tongues and shout. That type of stuff is just being comfortable in discomfort. And and I'm gonna just speak for, I only know the Black way of living, okay? But Black people, we do that a lot. We get comfortable. We claim faith in all these areas. And then you do crazy things like, you know what I'm saying? Staying uncomfortable, just putting up with it. You're not planning. You're not thinking bigger. So my mission, I think this is my ultimate life mission. It's like, I need us to upgrade our thinking because we didn't have a head start. We didn't get Black people, it might be annoying for some people to hear that we don't have a head start, but we didn't. Okay. So your cousin, uncle, granny, all your history, if you're American and Black, the people before you and your mom and them had this thinking and mindset of just struggle and surviving. And it was a true survival. Only the strongest survived. But that mentality is what they gave your mama and your grandma. And so your grandma and them gave it to you. And so you're trying to be all of these amazing things in the world because today is better than ever. It's the best time to be alive. You can think it and create it. You can become it. You can do it. You can have anything you want, but you have to fight you every single day. It is a mental warfare all day. It ain't no devil in the red suit, boo. It's your thoughts that become things. Look at your life and what are the things that you see? What thoughts support that? You're not even going to do. You may be trying to do something right now and you're like, why am I stuck? I get that email all the time. I'm stuck. Because your mind has to change and then your behavior changes. So that's why Paul was like, take these thoughts captive. The war that we're fighting has nothing to do with physical. It is completely mental. So think about it. Slaves were slaves because they didn't have enough information, right? Because at the end of the day, and this is where Kanye West got in trouble, and I think I get what he was trying to say. Slaves were obviously, the reality was white people took Black people, killed them, because it was violent, it was crazy. I don't know about being a slave because I can't, right? But if you think about trying to make some Black people slaves now, it won't work. Why? Because we know too much. So the way that you became a slave and you stayed a slave is because you didn't have information, i.e. Frederick Douglass. Go Google his readings. I love his readings. He was going nuts because he got smart during the slave time and he was like, cut my brain out because now I can't go back to being a slave. And the new norm wasn't to just be free. That's why I be so interested in obsessed with mindset because look, the way that you stay down is if you don't have information and if you don't monitor your thoughts and if you don't take those thoughts captive and think like God is in you. You are a reflection of God, right? So I'm going to walk like and talk like the God in me. Call it cocky. Call it what you want. That's why you see Jay-Z, Kanye West, people they were like, oh my God, they're acting like God. No, they are smart. They understand that if God is in me, then nothing is against me. And so I'm going to walk like and talk like the God that I am. That's God speaking through me. People get that stuff, that scares you because it's like, whoa. Because growing up, especially in Black church, a tactic to keep folks dumb and down is to put fear in church so that you can be controlled. Again, lack of knowledge keeps you a little sheep. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, moral of the story is mind your business. Mind your thoughts. Mind it. Like for real. Take your thoughts captive and then look at what you're supposed to be. I talked about yesterday on Good Tea for Life. Being, you know, it was just all about being, the energy of being, how to be blessed, be joyful, be humble, you know, have a good time, laugh. These energies will attract all of the success that you seek. It's all about who you be, right? And you can't be that unless you you gotta shake off what you see. You gotta not be reacting to everything that's happening, and you just choose to be God-like, right? What are the qualities, right? Let me look at some of these comments. Philippians 8, whatsoever lovely thing. Yeah, like think on these things, all of the lovely things. Think so you're basically training your mind to think about all the goodness. And that's just the gratitude. You hear everybody that's successful say, all the Oprahs and the whoever's, they always say gratitude is the key to everything else. Gratitude is the key to everything else. Why? Because when you're thinking about what you don't have, you're going to keep attracting that. But in your worst moment, if you can just sit and just be in the energy of gratitude and just start thinking and finding all of the things, little things and big things, your just simple things. Lord, I'm grateful that I got some teeth, right? I'm grateful that I have the internet. I'm grateful that I have my limbs. Like I'm just like moving. I can see, I can touch, I can feel. I have another day, right? When you sit and get into the energy of that, then you can get into the energy of having everything, even though you have nothing. Somebody, can you please grasp that? You can get into the energy of having everything, even though you may, I don't know, your situation. I'm just saying, how does someone go from rock bottom to millions? They get into they're not sitting around thinking about not having anything because that's the norm. They get into the gratitude of, hey, I got this. I'm working with this. They get it. They grab a hold of something that excites them, that pulls them forward, and they work with mission and purpose, and they have a vision. All of this has to do with your thoughts. So your thinking is keeping you to or from the things that you desire. And so I dare you to take every thought captive and keep redirecting your thoughts. I dare you. Okay, let me read the comments. New York. What is DE? What's DE, y'all? Is that Delaware? Y'all know the map. Let me Google it. DE. Is that I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. So yeah, I don't know where that is on the map. It just says New York /DE. Okay, I lost you on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook shut down. Think on these things. Yes. 1865. Yes. So Juneteenth, the Blacks found out about it in 1865, but it was announced in 1863. It took that long to get the information down there, which I think that's a conspiracy, but I wouldn't know because I wasn't around. DE. Clyde. Good morning, Shell. I love this topic about mindset. I found it helpful to turn negative thoughts as the raw material for developing strategy to overcome the process blocking negativity. Oh, you sound real smart. So Dr. Clyde is suggesting to take your negative thoughts, use it as raw material to create a strategy to overcome the process, to overcome the progress blocking negativity. So basically, Dr. Clyde, you want to speak layman's terms for us. We don't, that's real educated. A man without a vision shall perish. Yeah, I think that Delaware. Okay, cool. I didn't know what DE was. I was like, what is that? Because it was next to New York. So I was like, is that the city in New York? I don't know. I don't know the map. I don't even care what y'all think about that because you could just Google it. That's the thing about Siri. It makes you very lazy. But yeah, taking your thoughts, you can literally assess your thoughts and then figure out where it's coming from so that you can get to the core of, like, for example, have you guys, who took the Money Chronicle class? Who took the Money Chronicles class? So that journal I sold, there's a class called the Money Chronicles that I had. And I basically took that journal and broke it down, but it was a moment where I was going, okay, why does this money cycle keep happening? And so I started to take these negative, I went through and looked at all the negative thoughts from my past. Where would that be? I went through and looked at all the negative money thoughts from how I grew up. And there were so many. My mom did a number. Even yesterday, I was trying to feed my mother with dementia. And I'm trying to feed her. And she goes, well, I don't want to take this food. Who paid for this food? I don't want to take. The fear of not having enough is literally taking my mother's mind, which is taking her life. That's a harsh reality I had to cut. Like, I watch it every single day. I want to fight somebody, but I can't. Sitting in doctor's appointments trying to get help. And really, when the reality is, my mom has thought her way into dementia, the poverty mindset. Her mother did it. So I fight for my mind because I refuse. And I'm fighting for your mind because I refuse for people to keep putting themselves in these situations. The power of your mind is everything. My mother, to this day, with dementia, and before even the dementia started, again, we lived a life of there is not enough. That was the backbone song to the lifestyle. We went from, when I was little, I don't remember not having things. Life was good. And then when my parents hit financial struggle, it never changed. The conversation just became, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. And it made so many of my choices. That song, I can look at choices that I've made. It goes back to that song because it's like it was embedded. And if something is embedded in you for 10, 20 years, you can't get, like, you got to work 10, 20 years. You got to make sure that your rituals match where you want to go. You got to make sure, and I don't think it's going to take 10, 20 years, but I think that it's just understanding that you have to align to the opposite of that, or you're going to always be manifesting whatever the theme of your life, the theme song from your life growing up was, right? Some people, like Tony Robbins always says, some people take that we don't have enough and they become workaholics and they become obsessed and they get all the money, but then they're miserable. So it's not money won't solve your problem, because you'll get money and still have all kind of other issues that are just whatever. So you need to be whole completely, right? And your mind is the key to all of that. But it just trips me out because, yes, very deep, the Money Chronicles, good. We look back on our lives to see where the negative thoughts came from about money, right? Because, and I'm saying that because, again, I had so much pain. I lost love relationships. I got into wrong relationships. All of it had to do with these thoughts that are just playing on repeat quietly. So you've got to find them. And I think that's what, is key, is going back to, wait, what are the negative thoughts? Let me put them on paper. And then let me attack them one by one and figure out a process that just makes me shift from that. So that's why people love affirmations, right? Because if you hear, one of my favorite money quotes is, money flows to me easily and freely, right? And if I hear, I can't afford that, it's like you have to instantly press pause on that. Stop that thought and go into, money flows to me easily and freely. Money flows, and you got to channel it. You got to feel it. And then you've got to make sure that the habits, once you figure out the negative thought, I can't afford that, you got to attack that. Is that true? I talk to people all the time about that. No, it's not true. I just talked to my daddy about that last night. He was like, I can't do this. I said, that's a lie, because I already told you I paid that bill. Cut the damn air on. This is why I'm talking to my daddy. But even if I wasn't paying the bill, if he just look at what the air costs and you budget it out, you can afford it. Cut the freaking air on. But because it's just easier to be like, I can't afford that. I was talking about that the other day, about this girl who just kept looking at me, telling me that my makeup was expensive. And I'm just looking at her like, first of all, makeup is not expensive. That's a relative expensive compared to what? Because it's expensive if you want to buy it today and you ain't got no money, but you can save for a couple weeks, go drive Uber. There's ways to save up the money to get it. So you still can afford it. Whether you afford it right now or later over time, you can have all of the things that you want. right? So it's always the thoughts that are making us make moves. When you're making a move based on fear, it's not going to go well, right? So you have to always be looking at your thoughts and where is it truly coming from? That's the thing. Taking a thought and saying, where is that coming from? Some people be like, I don't like technology. No, you're just scared of it because you feel like you tried it that one time and you went live and you forgot to put on a shirt and you wasn't trying to press the live button. So now you don't like technology because it's all in your privacy. You just have a fear because you don't know it yet. So now we can just release the fear. We get it. Okay, that's fear speaking. I do like technology. I do like the idea of being able to attract customers online. I do like the idea of me being able to pay my bills online. I know people who still try to go to their light bill company and pay the light bill. Those people have a website. Why would you not just go on the website? Because of fear of the unknown. That's why our mind is key, because there's a lot of things that you and I still do that the more information we get, the more we up-level our thoughts, the more we get to the root of a thought that doesn't serve us, and then counteract it with a positive plan, with positive habits. That's how we change our lives. Does this make sense? Yes or no? Yes to the upgraded thinking. You better speak truth 100. That's good. Okay, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Yeah, wisdom is applied knowledge, right? Applying what you know. Because a lot of us know a lot of stuff that we don't do, and so here we are. Delaware, good morning. Me, good. Yeah, the Money Chronicles is dope. I need to re-release that, huh? Cool. I let my shake get hot. Ew. Jamaica in the building. Easy Slick. He always say, what's up? One love. One love. So you guys, it's Juneteenth. Go Google some history, especially today. You should Google it all the time, but especially today, because it's important to know your history and know what we're celebrating and why. Awesome. Cool. Any questions? I'm done. And y'all, I like to slurp the bread. I want all my shake. It's like a little bit of corner right there. I want that. I be salty. Give me all my shake. Shoot. So excuse my slurping because it's improper for some. Don't do it in public. Just do it when you're in your own judge. This don't count as public. Lashes Sparrowmore said the corner be the best. Exactly. I be salty like, it's still a little grip up in there. Shoot, I want that. I need all of it. Anyway, you guys, I love you. Take your thoughts captive. Go today. Take inventory of your thoughts. Let's make it practical. Take inventory of your thoughts. What does that mean? Notice what you're thinking every hour. Tammy said you be throwing down on some food and drink. Notice what you're thinking every hour, right? Just pay attention. It ain't hard. Just pay attention. What am I thinking about? Once you decide that you're going to pay attention to your thoughts, you're just going to naturally start to notice thoughts. They'll pop up. You're going, oh, I thought that. Oh, like pay attention to what you're thinking. As you're scrolling your Instagram, are you hating on people? Are you in the energy of, I wish I had that body. I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Because social media can make you be in the energy of, I wish I had, which puts your emotions into a I don't have, which makes you keep manifesting the I don't have version of whatever, right? So taking your thoughts captive means inventory, paying attention to it, and then really asking yourself, why did I think that? Why do I feel that? How can I switch this up? How can I actually make this not an issue anymore? Where is that coming from? Typically, it all goes back to fear of something. Okay, cool. Since that's where it's coming from, okay, what can I do, right, to support shifting this energy? What are the new thoughts that serve where I want to go? And it always starts with, what do I want? I talked about that yesterday. It always starts with, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Because when you think about what you want, not from an energy of I don't have, but from an energy of just, I want, like when there's a difference, right? When you think about what do I want? And then what are the thought processes? And then what actions match that? That's how you can make it something tangible. That's how you can actually go day by day and keep upgrading your thoughts and keep upgrading everything, is that you look at, where am I now? Okay, cool. I see that thought. Where do I want to go? Here. And then what are the thoughts that get me there? And then put some tools in place so that whenever you have the opposite negative thought, you can just have an affirmation that shifts your energy. And everybody, sometimes my affirmation won't fit you. You got to get the affirmation that feels good to you. I love these. Do you guys have these? I tell you guys about them all the time. The Game of Life affirmation cards. I love Florence Scovel Shinn. She's one of my faves. Been reading her for years. Here's the card. It says, there's a place that I am to feel and no one else can feel. Something that I am to do which no one else can do. Like, the certain cards resonate so much with me that it just becomes a part of my DNA. Like, it just becomes a part of my normal saying because it feels so good in my soul. So those are the ones that I lean towards, right? And so, Infinite Spirit, don't let me miss a trick. I love that. You're asking God, don't let me miss the opportunity. Don't let me miss that flash of inspiration, that moment that I need to look at and jump into, right? So, listen, find the words that empower you, that shift your energy, chew on them on a regular basis, and remember that your thoughts are yours to control. Take every thought captive and think on the things of God. God is all the goodness of the universe, all the abundance, all of it, all of it. So I shall see you guys later. I'll be live later. Hopefully this works. If not, I'll just upload a video. We shall see. In the meantime, I'm Lakeisha Michelle. Visit me at lakeishamichelle.com. And this is Good Tea for Life.